Well, welcome to our first podcast for NoteAds, sticky notes on the front page of your newspaper. Approximately 15 years ago, John Grantham pioneered this big idea in Northern California with 4 different newspapers. And today, 75 to 80% of all newspapers in the United States accept some form of the Post-it note on the fronts of your newspaper. We recognize more than ever that your sales representatives are selling more and presenting more than just ROP and preprint solutions to your advertisers, but also with the introduction of digital advertising and other specialty products. It's more important than ever that we do our best to try to keep the Post-it note as a top of mind with all of your sales teams. Here's what I know for sure. As a former executive in the newspaper and shopper business, I know that number one, your salespeople present to advertiser, number one, what is most familiar with them. And then secondly, what are they most interested in? And as a result of that, we've developed this blog and are designing a different podcast for you and your salespeople to look at, evaluate, and tell us exactly what you think. Because not only is our blog, but the podcasts themselves are all designed for you. You tell us what you want. You tell us what changes you want and how we can best communicate to you and your sales teams. You'll notice on the blog there's a Q&A section, there's a calendar, and a number of different tools that you can use when you're out in the field. We talk specifically about why an advertiser would want to use a sticky note on the front of the paper. We talk about how to sell those sticky notes, and we answer all the Q&A kinds of questions that your teams might have. We're also asking you to consider one other thing. The idea of this podcast, and the idea of the blog, is to get newspaper representatives and sales managers all across the country to begin to talk to each other. We're asking that you simply give us their email addresses, their contact information, so that sales representatives in Florida can talk to representatives in California, so that people in Missouri can talk to people in Washington, so that people in Ohio can talk to people in Texas. By doing this, we know that your sales representatives, who are the ones that are out selling this great big idea, can be influencers for other representatives all across the country. Thank you for listening. We look forward to speaking to you soon.